I came into this movie expecting absolutely nothing, and I am still very disappointed. Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken is a movie that will not exceed any expectations. It is a movie you've seen 1,000 times, and yet they still managed to pump this one out thinking it's original. In fact, this movie was so unoriginal that the marketing team only put out advertisements for 3 months, and the trailers gave away the entire movie. No, I'm not kidding you. They pulled an illumination and put everything important to the movie in the trailer, so you don't have to see the movie. I honestly thought they were going to at least try to put in some sort of unique twist to make the movie not like the trailer, but honestly, it is exactly like the trailer. Meet Ruby Gillman, a teenager who's just awkward in high school and wants to just become friends with someone. She and her family are descendants of powerful Kraken queens who are sworn to protect the oceans from the mermaids. And that's about pretty much everything you learn about their history. You also have Chelsea Vanderzee, you know, Little Mermaid, Ariel. You see the resemblance? Haha, you know where this is going. She's the popular girl, everybody loves her, and you know what? So does Ruby Gillman. She wants to make friends with the popular girl. But uh-oh, Chelsea has a secret. She's secretly a mermaid, and knows that Ruby is a kraken. Oh no! What a twist! So they end up hanging out and, you know, doing teenage stuff and underwater stuff, and it turns out that Chelsea's people have been secretly hiding away because the Krakens took away the trident that they need. Ruby is convinced that Chelsea's actually a good mermaid, and if she were to retrieve the trident, they could kind of mend the bonds between the Krakens and the mermaids and stop the war from going on. So Ruby goes to her grandmama to learn about the Kraken powers to retrieve the trident, and her mom's not happy about it. Her mom and her family just want to live like normal humans, and just go off by saying that they're from Canada. What is it with every, like, secret supernatural being just saying they're from Canada? This is a running joke in every movie, and I don't understand it. While this is going on, she's also trying to deal with her high school life, and trying to find a date to the prom. While she's also a mathlete, because that's her one character trait. Yeah, the only interesting thing Ruby Gillman has going for her is the fact that she's one, a kraken, and two, she's a mathlete. And she will not stop talking about the fact that she's a mathlete in almost every scene. She also has a love interest with the purple flavored carrot top, and it being a teenage movie, of course, is going to be a love interest. I mean, when isn't there a love interest in a teenage movie? Are you kind of understanding why I didn't like this movie and why I think it's so bland? It's just going beat for beat on every stereotypical teenager movie, and it doesn't do anything overly interesting with its characters. It's like trying to find the difference between two VTubers. Once you've heard the ooh-woo voice and seen the big boobs, you've pretty much seen them all.
I didn't mean to get it mommy. Like, hold on, wait, I gotta do it like a not.
Eventually, Ruby Gillman starts training with her grandmama to unlock all of her Kraken powers so she could go retrieve the trident that only Krakens can retrieve. Once retrieved, Ruby Gillman gives it to Chelsea, and, you know, who would have thought this? Chelsea's actually the twist villain. Oh no. Who could have seen that coming? It turns out Chelsea isn't actually Chelsea, but the Queen of the Mermaids, and she wants to seek revenge by destroying the Kraken Queens who imprisoned her trident and made her into, you know, her weird human Little Mermaid self. Cut to the giant kaiju fight, which is extremely slow for some reason. And the whole, you know, we can't do it alone, we have to do it together spiel, where the mom, the grandmama, and Ruby Gillman end up all using their super eye beams to destroy the trident and save the day. Basically, this is like watching Turning Red without all the good character design and fun animated bits. This is like watching Big Hero 6 without all the action. This is like watching Encanto without all the spectacle and the music. This is like watching How to Train Your Dragon without the amazing original concept. Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken is just plain. It's boring. It's something you've seen before, but done worse. And as much as I would like to give credit to things like the art and character designs, I really didn't find those appealing at all either. All of the characters look like very fluffy marshmallows. The art and the environments don't look good, they look like they come from Illumination, and this is DreamWorks. This is a DreamWorks movie that's supposed to have DreamWorks spectacle, and none of that is there. The only thing I really think this movie has going for it are some of the jokes. Like during the big kaiju fight, when they start appearing out of the water and everyone on the boat takes out their cell phones to record it, that was pretty funny. The big tough jock telling Chelsea that she might need a bodyguard to protect her from the Kraken and then immediately screaming as soon as Ruby Gillman leaves the stall was, you know, fairly funny. I never physically laughed because, this is a kid's movie, but I did chuckle one or two times, and I think that's fair enough. When it comes to the big titular fight at the end of the movie to decide who wins and who loses, I kind of felt like the animation team really was holding back its punches. The fight felt like it was more in slow motion just to be in slow motion than it was that they were big and trying to move these massive limbs. There was no real weight to any of the action, and that was very disheartening and kind of left me somewhat disoriented watching it. This movie was a very safe take on an original movie. It's something I feel was done to pump out for the year and then just throw away as soon as the profit was made, and I'm glad that it's kind of bombing right now. Taking risks isn't always a good thing, but taking half steps are probably the worst that you can do. If you want to make something all aspiring and original, you want to go all out. You want to take as many risks as possible because taking something safe is probably going to land you in the land of mediocrity. Ruby Gillman is the result of a half step by a company who wants to make something good or something profitable just to compete with everybody else. And as much as people like to praise DreamWorks for making things like Shrek, How to Train Your Dragon, Megamind, Kung Fu Panda, they forget that DreamWorks also made things like The Croods, Abominable, Captain Underpants, Boss Baby, Home.
Bazinga.
Heck, do you guys even remember the movie Turbo? Was that a good movie that is just an awe-inspiring creation? No, it's a movie about fast snails. DreamWorks does not pump out masterpiece after masterpiece. I mean, they do make some very good movies, don't get me wrong, but not every one of them is going to be fantastic, and Ruby Gillman is just one of those that are just not fantastic. This movie is not up there with Puss in Boots, it's not up there with Bad Guys, it is sitting there right in the middle between Home and Turbo. Two movies you've probably never thought about since their release. I am just extremely upset at the direction they took this movie. It doesn't have the spectacle of the most recent movies that they've made. It doesn't have the interesting dynamics of the characters. The character designs aren't all that great. Everybody looks like a fluffy marshmallow. And the only interesting twist in this movie is something that you saw coming miles and miles and miles away. Anyways, I would give this movie a 4 out of 10. Just go watch Turning Red. But if you want to watch something that's new and that came out recently, go watch Nimona or Mavka. They're both very good movies, unlike this one. Anyways, thank you all for watching, for listening, or just putting me on in the background. I will talk to you all later. Have a good one.